Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to yet another session of Foundations Activity-Based Lesson Plan. I'm so glad to see so many participants already joined in. We'll wait for another few minutes. As I see a lot of participants are joining, are still in the waiting room. Just allow me another 2 to 3 minutes and I promise we'll start sharp within 2 minutes, 2 more minutes. Listen. All right. Okay, so it is 5:03 by my clock, and with this, we begin with the session. So I have a decent number of people who joined in, and my waiting room is clear for now. So we are good to start. Once again, a very warm welcome to the session. As discussed and as mentioned in the group, we'll today be talking about activity-based lesson planning. So we've been talking about in different sessions on foundations, we've talked about activities, we've talked about activities linked with Panchkosh and a lot of these things. Every time we discuss so many things, which I personally feel become a challenge because as a teacher, one would feel कि ये सब सुनने में बहुत अच्छा है. It's all very nice and must be implemented. But actually, how? How can you incorporate everything into your lesson plan? How can you put it there so that it happens effectively? It's easier and effective at the same time. It should not be a burden. And I know it for a fact that once your lesson plans is sorted, once your lesson plans are well done, everything goes perfectly. You don't have to worry about the rest of it anymore. So over to Smriti ma'am. We all know Smriti ma'am, one of our favorite trainers for and mentors for foundations. The way she explains things makes it more interesting and you don't forget it ever again. I know I have not forgotten anything that she's ever taught on foundations, and I'm sure it's the same with everybody. Smriti ma'am, welcome and good evening.
Good evening, Himani. Thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful introduction. I am glad that I'm a good teacher. I'm just glad to be a good teacher. That's it. So I want to be known as a good teacher throughout my life. So people say, now, what do you want to leave when you go away? I just want to be remembered as a good teacher. So it's a good thing. Like Himani said, how can we make it easy? First thing, because as teachers, I always believe, because I've taught in a preschool classroom as a teacher, and I know how much of a stress that is to look after those adorable little kids in your classrooms, and 30, 40 of them at one go. And then we talk about so many things about the Panchkoshas. We talk about the activity-based learning. We talk about differentiated learning. We say each learner has a unique style, and all of those. But how to make it simplified for the teacher is what I'm going to try to do today. And you will have to excuse my voice and my snifflings. So it's still running fever and still not very done with my cough and cold. But I didn't have the heart to cancel the session. So here we go. That's another thing. As teachers, we really can't afford to take leaves, right? If we are not there, our class goes haywire. And all those children who look after their teachers like role models, if one day you are not there, they don't feel like going to the class. So it's the same thing here, right? Yeah. So let's see. What do we do and how do we do? So first and foremost, most of the time you'll have to have your notepads and pens with you. Please keep them ready because you're going to write and do a lot of activities. When I say activity-based learning lesson planning, I don't intend to lecture, and I don't intend that you people take it as a lecture or don't do those activities. If you don't do it, you can never make your children do it. So simply said, it's learning by doing, and you have to do. Are you all ready?
Let's get some yeses on the chat box, guys.
Yes, please. You have to do it. Okay. So first and foremost, if you are in my class, you have to do what I tell you to do.
Yes, this we all know. You don't have a choice in that.
You don't have a choice in that. And you'll have to use a lot of chat box. You'll have to sometimes unmute yourself and talk, and you'll have to show me what you are doing. So please be ready with your pens and pencils. If you don't have it, your pen, notebook, pen, whatever you want, take it and take those 2 minutes till the time I share my screen. Those 2 minutes you have. Once. Screen is visible
Yes, and ma'am, we've got a lot of yeses.
for that they're ready to do the activities.
They're ready to do the activities.
Arey, wow, super cool. That's why I love the foundations. The foundations, I have participants who are always ready, and Himani prepares them well. Himani says, "Okay, fine, it's a foundations session. You can't sit passively. You have to do the activities." So activity-based learning outcomes, and that's lesson planning for the early years. In early years, our NEP and NCF is talking a lot about play-based learning and activity-based learning. Now, when we do activity and play-based learning, it's hard to make the parents understand that, throughout the day they're playing and not doing anything that is written work, or, you have nothing to show to the parents. So it becomes a tough job, especially for the school owners and the school management. Ki, acha, what are you doing? Why are you charging us a fees? The children are playing the whole day. So how do you make them understand what is an activity or a play-based learning, and how do you incorporate it in your class so that all the learnings of your all the subjects that you are wanting to teach them should be happening, right? You cannot do away with that. You can't say that I'm not going to teach because NEP says so, and we're not going to do concepts, or we're not going to do reading, or we're not going to do writing. You have to do all of that. But then how do you do it in a manner which is activity based or play based, or it is fun and engaging? That's what we are going to try to address today. Anywhere you have a difficulty, you're not understanding anything, please do not shy away from unmuting yourself, raising your hand and saying, yeah, I want to ask a question. And Imani is there, and she has an eagle's eye on all the chat boxes and all the hands ups and all the thumbs ups and everything. She sees all of that. And that is why if she's not there, I can't do a session. So it's like, so the message her before the session. I said, where are you? If you're not there, I'm not doing. Okay. So let's go and see what it is all about. Okay, you all know about the WALK learners. So like I have told you, differentiated learnings. So ILP, individualized learning plans, are the need of the hour. The children are very much more smarter. The alpha gen is much more smarter than what we were teaching and we have been teaching over the years. So now we have to have ILPs, that is individualized learning plans for our WALK learners. The visual learners, the auditory learners, the learners who are reading and learning, the learners who are kinesthetic learners, that is who will move around, do things and then learn. So how do you incorporate all of this in your lesson plan? Anyone who's done it in their school and can share some ideas? I am open to that. Please.
Most welcome to unmute and share also, or you could use the chat box. I'll take them up from there.
Anything. Please go ahead and just tell me how have you done it in your school, if you have done it, if you've already done it, or you have been trying to do it. Any kind of ideas that you have.
Lata ma'am is saying, yes, ma'am, multiple intelligence seats.
How is the question, darling? I know multiple intelligences. I know the work learners. I know everything about those philosophies. But how do you do it in your school?
Anything that you've already tried and
Yeah, and it has worked, or you have been doing it, or you are doing it right now, or you're experimenting with it. You came up with some kind of this thing solution, or it worked, didn't work, whatever. Okay. There's no rights and wrongs. We are here at the foundations to share. See, the foundations is one platform which is only for the early childhood educators to share things and learn from each other. It's nowhere that I know more than you and you know more than me. It is both of us have experiences. We need to share. We need to come out with the best practices. So go ahead in case you have something.
and maybe somebody comes up with an idea which is really good. You've
Yeah,
done
yeah.
something.
Always happens. Always.
Ma'am,
Okay.
may I?
Yeah,
Yes,
please
yes.
go ahead.
I go with a very simple introduction of letters.
Letters. Yeah. Okay,
Sound,
Mr.
the sound, Okay.
Yeah.
So, for visual, we play the smart board.
Hmm.
Okay. And along with that, like the
Yeah.
action.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So there's movement,
Right.
there's music,
Uh-huh.
and there's learning,
Uh-huh.
and we also kind of I along with my children, some of them they come up to me and then we do it together, the action, okay,
Right.
along with the singing and along with the letter which I've written on the board and which shows on the smart board as well.
Absolutely. So all the learners you're taking care of, the ones who are the visual learners, the auditory learners, and the kinesthetic learners with the action. That's the way Jolly Phonics work. Jolly Phonics says it's a multisensorial thing when you're teaching letters and introducing letters. And it should be all the kinds of learners have to be taken into accounting there. Very well done, Ms. Sheetal. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
There's another answer in the chat box.
Yeah.
Nazima ma'am says with video worksheets, reading drill and activity for the same topic.
Okay, so one topic you have different activities designed and you do it for all the kinds of different learners, right?
Right.
Super cool. Very nice. See, so all those who are not doing it now can learn from Ms. Sheetal and who's the other one who shared?
Nazima ma'am.
Nazima ma'am. So see, here they are sharing with you their best practices. Otherwise, we preschoolers are like the preschoolers. We don't like to share. We like to hold on to our practices. जैसे हमारा स्कूल सबसे अच्छा है, हम किसी को बताएंगे नहीं तो वो
मैं मेरा कुरकुरे किसी को नहीं दूंगा.
हाँ, मैं कि अपना कुरकुरे किसी को भी नहीं दूंगा. It is like that only with preschools, huh? But here, the best thing about the foundations is that they have made this platform for all of us to share and learn from each other. It's a good thing, no? So we can keep coming up with new things to in our school. All right. Yes. Howard Gardner, multiple intelligences, somebody had already said on the chat boxes. So Howard Gardner said about the multiple intelligences. So from the walk, we have the walk learners. Now we have the 9 intelligences to cater to. And all these 9 intelligences are what? Verbal, logical, naturalist, kinesthetic, musical, interpersonal, intrapersonal, visual, spatial. Now, interpersonal is something that we can see, because the child, how is he or she socially, how well are their interpersonal skills, but intrapersonal skills, how well am I with myself, with my own thoughts, my own emotions, my own thinking, my own reasoning, problem solving, my resilience, my perseverance. I'll have to think about that also, right? All that intelligence is also very important. Miss Aisha wants to say something?
No, ma'am, I think it was
by mistake. Okay, fine. All right. So these kind of all these intelligences when we're talking about, so some children would love to do an activity in a group. So those will be interpersonal intelligent children. There would be some children who would be doing an activity brilliantly independently and by themselves. That's intrapersonal, introspective of who I am and how I do it and how I overcome my problems by myself. I'm not needing help from anybody. So you have to take care of all these intelligences, of course. And all these intelligences, how do they materialize into learners? That is like, how do you identify that which is which learner? How will you say, ki, yeah, this is in this, this child in my class, actually, Tanmay in my class is actually a kinesthetic learner. I've told him 10,000 times to sit down, but he'll not sit down in one place. Or he wants to do everything by, digging his hands into it. And he cannot, he's very restless. Or you would say that somebody is like, has all the whys in the world, has so many questions, is very logical in the thinking. So you'll have to identify with this. So this chart here shows you how do you identify those learners in your classrooms. That, okay, what are their interests like? What are their abilities in? What is a dominant ability? We are all made up of multiple intelligences. We will all have somewhat little bit of each, or some more and some less, but we'll have them. And the second is, one will be the dominant intelligence, that this is the way that I can learn the best. This is the way that I can function the best, right? So that is one dominant, but doesn't mean that I do not have the other intelligences also. I have all of them, right? And all of them have to be nurtured together. So when we talk about learning goals, I have spoken about this in my previous session. If those who have attended it would know it, but then those who have not attended it, for them. So learning goals should be having their cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domains catered to. So these are not those 6 developmental domains. Those are developmental domains, right? Here I'm talking about learning domains. Learning domains are cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, and affective domain. Now this, if you, in your lesson plan, for any activity that you have, you're catering to all the intelligences and all the different kind of learners, excellent. But in each activity and in each lesson plan, you also have to see after that. That's the first stage. The second stage is that you also have to see that you have addressed and you have a learning outcome for each of these 3 learning domains. So there should be something to develop the cognitive domain, the psychomotor, and the affective. And what do they mean? So their modes of learning for cognitive domain is that you are giving children, for some part of the lesson plan is for their thoughts and their thinking, okay, and their problem solving and their logical thinking, that they are thinking about something. You're telling them that, and the abilities would be reasoning and memorizing things like the concept time. Affective domain in the same lesson plan would be when you're catering to their feelings, you're appreciating their efforts, you're motivating them to go ahead, you're encouraging them from point A to point B. And how did they feel while they're doing the activity? That's accounted for. So you're not going to negate the fact that a child in your class is not liking an activity. So you would just say, no, you have to like it, you have to do it. You see how they're feeling and how would you change that? Then the psychomotor is actions and doing. So anything that you do with writing, wherever hands are involved, wherever an action is involved, if you're just doing rhymes or you're doing rhymes with action, everything will depend on this. So three learning domains have to be catered to in every lesson plan. So till now we have WAC, we have 9 intelligences, and now we have CPA. Okay, so excuse me. You can make a note of these. These are the things that are going to be there in all your activity-based lesson planning. In each lesson plan, you have to take care of all these 3 things. Now, what does CPA in other terms means? So I'm going to tell you that when you're talking about cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domain, that is how when Gandhiji's philosophy came in for education, he said the 3 H, the head, heart, and hand. The head is the cognitive, the heart is the affective, and the hand is the psychomotor, isn't it? So head, heart, and hand philosophy of Gandhiji comes here. When right now we're talking about CPA, he has already coined this years and decades back, but we're not looking at it because we want to look towards the West to find out. So if you want to do that, then Maria Montessori also said, her education philosophy said, the brain, muscle, and senses must be involved in all activities and in education. and all her didactic equipments, the self-corrective measures. She has the brain, she has something to be doing in that, and she has a feeling of the eureka moment that is in Montessori. So if you see about the Indian side of the education or you see the Western side of the education, you have to understand that each lesson plan should have the 3 learning domains. Okay, CPA. Clear till now? Anybody has any questions? We've already covered some part of it.
Anyone, you can use the chat box, so you could unmute to ask a question, sorry.
Yeah. Or if somebody has a lesson plan where you define a CPA.
Have you been doing this? Have you, in your lesson plans, anyone, if you could even raise your hand, that yes, you've been doing this in your lesson plans.
In your lesson plans, have you ever written your learning outcomes as CPA?
I have a message. Yes, Lata ma'am has been doing it.
Very good. Lata
Anyone
ma'am,
else?
which school are you in and where is it?
Berwin, Teresa, Neelu Pandey. So move 2-3 ma'am, PSBB Millennium School.
All right. Super cool. Very well done.
Keru Gum Bakam.
All right. So we have some of the people who have been doing that. Excellent.
Yes.
Then it will make the aage ka session more interesting because they can lead. I'll sit back and relax. As it is, I'm not feeling well. Okay. So let's see, where do we go from here? Now here. Chalo. Pen and paper. Define the CPA. If this is an activity, if sand play is an activity, what are your 3 learning domains goals here? What is your learning outcomes? You have to write the learning outcomes. I'll tell you the format. The learning outcomes will be the learner or the child will be able to do what? So the child will be able to, the student will be able to, 2 ke baad there's an epilepsy. There are 3 dots. Then you have to go and fill those 3 dots with one with cognitive learning outcome, one with psychomotor learning outcome, and one with affective learning outcome.
So teachers, ma'am, there are some answers. If you can mention in front of them CPA. So I don't know if they're random answers. How do you understand? Veenu ma'am, Seema ma'am, Lata ma'am. I see the answers beginning, but if you can actually write what is C, what is P, and what is A there.
A, yeah. Learning
Otherwise-
outcomes you write according to that. Like the student will be able to do what things.
So what will be the cognitive outcome? What will be the, so say C will be this, P will be this, and A will be
A
this.
will be this. Yeah, you write C and then put a hyphen, put the outcome, then P, then A. And if you've written it in your notebook, you can just switch on your video and show it to us also.
Just raise your hand and show.
Or just raise your hand and you unmute yourself and speak. It's all right.
So when we have received some answers, but again, they're not, okay, Lata ma'am said, Lata ma'am saying cognitive is making different shapes.
Okay.
And
Instruction. Yeah, anyone who wants to speak up.
learn shapes. All right, learn shapes. So yes. So I think shapes will be cognitive, that most of you are saying.
Okay, you making different shapes and identifying those shapes that they have made, circle or triangle or square, they would be cognitive because they have to remember and they have to understand what shapes are there. Identification is their cognitive. What will be the affective?
Affective, they learn to play together. The student understand about togetherness. Students will be able to make bond with friends.
Okay. Yeah, because there are 2-3 children playing. So there's a bonding, there's interpersonal intelligence getting developed.
Touch and feel also.
Skills, the touch and feel. Absolutely. I was looking for that. Sensory motor. They're feeling very nice when they play in the sun. They feel enjoyed. They're happy. Even that can be one of your learning outcomes. The children are going to be enjoying the sand play.
Touch and feel is there. Affective, where could see uses. I'm not sure. Children will be able to make shapes. They will be able to feel strength of sand, that I can take any shape. They will be able to write anything on it.
Yeah, they can write anything on it. So those are all psychomotor. When they're doing it with their hands, they're all psychomotor. So if they're going to able to make shapes out of it, or they're using the sand play material to make things, that's all psychomotor because that's actions. That's they're doing with their hands. The cognitive is identifying the shapes, identifying the colors. In case you give them blocks, if you give them a treasure hunt and tell them to sort out something, letters or numbers or a particular color beads from the sand, that they will have to use their reasoning power. They have to use their identification power, memory power, cognitive. That would be there. Super cool. So we got some very good answers. Like I said, we have a great team here who's attending. All right. So we time to go ahead. Let's see if this plays and you can hear it. If the audio is not audible, you can let me know, huh? If you hear it?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Very good to hear the song. Let's enjoy. Who knows this song before we start?
No, ma'am, it's not very clearly audible. Have you shared the audio, ma'am, upar se? Share sound. There is an option. You can share sound. There are 3 dots. 3 dots, and when you click on it, it will give you share sound.
Acha, wait, let me see. Share sound. I did that. Now we'll see.
5 little ducks went out.
Better?
Perfect, ma'am.
Perfect.
If you can restart this.
I will restart it. Who knows this song already? Anybody raise hands?
I know.
Huh?
I'm just saying I know. There are a lot of yeses, a lot of yeses in the chat box.
Okay. Chalo, let's hear it once more. Now we'll listen to it from CPA. Right.
5 little ducks went out one day, over the hill and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only 4 little ducks came back. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little ducks went out.
Are you? You know what happens next?
I know. So somebody is saying yes. Seema ma'am, yes. You can unmute or you could say otherwise. Berwin, Teresa ma'am, you could also.
Yeah, so how does this entire song goes? Now, right now you heard 4 little ducks came back and then we counted 1, 2, 3, 4. Then
4 little ducks will go.
that 4 little ducks will go. Then who will come back?
3 will come back then.
3 will come back, right? Then 3 will go and then what will come back?
2.
2 will come back. 2 will come back. Very good. Then 2 will go and who will come back?
1 only.
1 will come back.
1 will go. And then?
Nobody will be there.
No little ducks will come back. All right. Super cool. You know the song. So I didn't not play the whole song. Now tell me. Hurry up. Write the learning outcomes. How many learning outcomes? Here I'm not looking at CPA. How many learning outcomes can you write? Now learning outcomes should start with. So let me tell you, let me make myself very, very clear. Let me stop. You will have to tell me how many learning outcomes from this one song. You can unmute and talk in case you want to.
Backward counting, numbers, water animals.
Okay, water animals you can talk about the duck, and then backward counting, right? Then all the numbers,
Yes.
right? Then what else?
Children will learn in a rhythmic way the numbers and they will
Okay.
enjoy. It will be learning by doing as they will be singing and they will be participating in it.
Yeah, learning, singing, and participating. The numbers will become very enjoyable.
And family, mama duck, papa duck.
All right, thank you.
Their memory will be
Didn't go
sharpened.
anywhere. Papa duck doesn't do anything, just sits there. Mama duck does all the work.
Sound, the
Ma'am,
quack
it
quack
can enhance
sound.
their
The quack quack.
vocabulary also. There will be
Vocabulary,
vocabulary enhancement also.
vocabulary, sounds of the animals. Yeah, quack, quack, quack was there. Very good.
Memory,
Yes. Now you
Recognition of color.
recognition of color. Very good. See how many things. Now, if in your class you're playing this song and there's so much of learning happening. So do you really need to make lots of worksheets for these things? You want to teach them numbers, you want to teach them color, you want to teach them backward counting. I see children doing a lot of worksheets and notebook where they're writing backward and things like that. Would they learn better there or would they learn better in this way?
Here.
will learn you.
They will learn here. Very good. So you will have to understand how children will learn better. So if I tell them, if a teacher writes on the blackboard, I'm going to teach you backward counting. I'm going to tell you this. Okay, today we are going to do backward counting. First and foremost, the child don't understand. Then I'm going to write it on the board, the backward counting. And I'm going to say, see, you knew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now backward counting will start from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Confusion. Or if I write it, the children are going to copy it. Or if they're doing a worksheet or they're doing writing in their notebook, they're actually not understanding the concept. But what you do, once you play this song, what happens? Everything is so clear to them, isn't it?
yes, ma'am.
Right? Yeah, okay. So see, right now I didn't give any answers. You people gave me all the answers that yes, they can learn so many things through one song. So isn't this activity-based learning? We are so scared of it. But isn't it the right thing to do? Okay, now we go to the next. You all have these in your schools? No answers. Maybe in the chat box. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Everyone has the blocks. You use the number blocks to teach numbers?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Um,
I see,
Other
again,
concepts.
I see a lot of yeses. Yes, creativity also. Yes, ma'am. Okay, look, you use the blocks. Okay, now quickly. Right, how many concepts can you teach through blocks? In mathematics alone. I'm not talking about anything else. Right now, we're talking about numbers and math. So how many concepts can you teach through blocks? Okay, when somebody says pattern, shapes, right? Shapes,
Ma'am,
Mind logic.
concept of more and less.
More and less, addition, color, number, subtraction.
Visual discrimination also we can teach.
Okay.
They will
And visual discrimination is a precursor to what? After visual discrimination, what does visual discrimination help the children in?
to differentiate between the objects, to find out the difference. It can help them in more and less, like they can see and differentiate, and they can do that concept of more and less with this.
Right, Seema ma'am, thank you so much. But you know, there is a lot more to visual discrimination. I'll just tell you all that about that also. Himani, you could see all the chats. Himani is not there. I will see. Sorting, big and small. Pattern, color, pre-math concept. Very good. You all are almost there. So let's see how much we can learn from this and how many activities one block can do. Do you know which activities are these? Okay. One more. Another one. Another one. So this measurement. So when you talk about measurement, not through using the measuring scales, but this is object measurement. Counting. You can give them these kind of worksheets instead of writing worksheets. Give them a card or a chart with numbers and tell them to place as many blocks there that you see here. Okay. Then one-on-one correspondence. One-on-one correspondence is very, very important, teachers. Because see, till the time the child is learning counting and writing counting, and they can write till 50, they can write till 100, but they do not know what 25 means or what 15 means or what 5 means. They have to have an understanding of what that particular numerical means. It means that I have to give so many things. It is so many things. So one-on-one correspondence in numbers is very, very important, and it's extremely important concept to build on their math skills. Otherwise, later on, they face a lot of problems. And why do they face a problem? Because they learn rote counting, they learn how to write numbers, and they keep writing numbers from 1 to 50, 1 to 20, 1 to 100, 100 to 500, but they do not know what the numbers mean. Okay, they have to have these skills importantly. Comparison. Like Seema said, visual discrimination, which is a bigger one, which is a smaller one. That will lead them to the greater and less than. That would be like, okay, fine, this number is bigger than this number. Now, again, how this number is bigger than that number? Just by writing on the board will not help. Sometimes doing it on a number line helps. But if you show it to them, why are we saying that 4 is bigger than 3 or 7 is bigger than 5? If you show it to them through blocks and through concrete objects or through number of crayons, you see these are more and these are less, then they understand it better. Again, activity and play based. Ask them to give you 5 crayons and then ask them to give you 7 crayons and see which has more crayons. So which is a larger number. Don't do greater than and less than just with the crocodile's mouth. Doesn't help anymore. Be more logical. All your number operations with the blocks you can do. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, anything. You can do all your number operations of the early years through blocks. Sequencing, again a very important activity. From where to where? What is the sequence? From the smallest to the biggest. From the shortest to the tallest. All these sequencings are very important. Sorting is very important. Now, these things, all of you who have blocks and these things, you can do it this. Now, when you are going out in a nature, sometimes you have to have a field trip. And sometimes, most of the times in field trips also, we do not know what to do. We just take the children, we show them around, we bring them back. How about a math class in the nature? And what if I tell you that you can do all of these things outside? Do you agree? You don't agree? Can you do all these concepts outside? Who has raised a hand? Padmani has raised her hand. Yes, Miss Padmani. Yeah, you can do all these concepts outside also.
Padmini ma'am, you want to say something? Let's make sure we are on mute, everyone.
Yeah.
Padmini ma'am, Seema ma'am, do you want to add something? You can unmute and ask or say.
Like, ma'am, we can tell them they can carry a bag. We can give them a bag. Or
Yeah.
like we can start with the pebbles. We can tell them to collect pebbles. So
Okay.
they can count those pebbles. So one thing is the counting. They will learn. Second, pre-mathematical concepts also, like if twigs are there, we can tell them to collect long and short twigs. So by
Yes.
this, and we can tell them to collect leaves. Like this, we can do other activities also to create this sense of counting in them.
Yeah. And then you can do this in the outside in the nature, right, Seema ma'am?
Yes, and this will be learning by doing. They are doing it themselves. There will be a sense of achievement for them also, and they will enjoy this. So
Yes.
it will be learning by enjoying. They will learn numbers like this.
Absolutely. So you're going to do it in your school, or are you already doing it in your school?
We are already doing so many. Our school is basically activity-based school only. We are already doing this in our school.
You're doing it in your school. Congratulations. Very good. Well done. I'm very happy whenever I meet somebody from a school who's doing activity-based learning. Okay.
And
Yes.
there was a question, how can we teach before and after with blocks?
Before and after with blocks.
Hmm.
Okay. 1 second. You see this first thing where the sequencing is there? The first block that you see here.
Yeah.
The where the blocks are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the largest is the sixth one in blue. Yeah.
That's right. Yes, ma'am.
This, if you place this in a horizontal line and you show this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for a child who's not understanding the number line or is not understanding that 3 comes after 2, then if you show them concrete like this, the blocks, and you show them the sizes, and then you show that I have to put one more on the green one to make it 3. So first 2 came and then one more I added, then 3 came. Otherwise, there was no 3 in the green one. Then if I have to make them understand that how come 4 or 5 is after 3, similarly, you'll have to keep this loose blocks with you for the same color. And then you keep adding on and you say, see, right now there was 2. And 2 was before, I could add one more to make it 3. Right? Does that answer your question?
Arpita ma'am, is that okay? Yes, yes, ma'am. It
Yes,
has been done.
Arpita ma'am, in case you have
Yes.
other questions also, please keep asking. Like this way, a child will not understanding before and after, because sometimes children face a lot of difficulty in understanding before and after. They do not understand why a particular number is after or before. And we give them the worksheets. We write the numbers on one side. We give them the blocks and we say write after numbers or write before numbers. And they get thoroughly confused. It's because they do not have the visual application of this and they do not understand numbers. Like I said, one-on-one correspondence is very important. Similarly, this is very important to understand what does the number mean. Okay, in concrete.
Sorry.
All right.
Ma'am, there was another question. There are a couple of other questions around the same.
Yeah,
How
please.
to explain greater than and less than?
Greater
and
than
some
and less than.
activity for tens and ones.
Greater than and less than I showed you here, and I talked about it also. When this you see the header of comparison, under that there is the greater and less than, and I talked about it also. It's not only the crocodile's mouth which will he eat. For eating the right number also, I have to know which is the bigger number. And that they will understand only if you show them in the concrete. And like I told you, ask them to give you 5 crayons and then ask them to give you 10 crayons and then show them which is more, which is a bigger number, 5 or 10. So while you do not show them concrete, they will never understand the abstract part of math. Okay, math ke liye it is very important that it goes from concrete to pictorial and then to abstract. So from concrete to pictorial means first they do it with the blocks and all, then you show them with pictures, and then you take it to the numbers. For the numbers for them are just symbols. They do not mean anything. I write 7 on the board or I write 6 on the board. They don't mean anything to me. Till the time I don't see it and I do it and I understand what is 6. Right? So greater than and less than will also come into accounting when they can see it themselves of which is more and which is less. Which is greater than, which number is greater than which number. Okay.
Ma'am, I feel also we can do this with candies or something. So which one do you want more?
Anything.
You know,
Candy,
they connect with it more. कि मुझे
yeah.
ज़्यादा वाली चाहिए.
Of course, every time, it will be like more or less if you teach them first. Like measurement, if you teach them first, even with water, even with cups, which has more, which has less. Once they understand more or less, they understand comparison. Then they understand comparison between blocks also, tall tower, short tower, which has more, which has less. Count the blocks. Tall tower has 10 blocks. Short tower has 4 blocks. Which is a greater tower? Which is a bigger tower? Then they understand greater than, less than. Okay. Which is a greater number? Because they can see it. And they can make it. You can ask them to make first. That, you make a tower with 10 blocks. Then you ask them to make a tower with 4 blocks. Then you ask them, where did you use more blocks? How was more and less? Okay. All these comparisons will come into play at that time. And they'll, once it is in their vocabulary, they will understand the concepts much better. But we do not give them the vocabulary first. We start teaching them. That is where the problem rises.
Ma'am, there's the concept of tens and ones.
Concept of tens and ones. The easiest way to teach tens and ones is through ice cream sticks. And the bundles. Any one of you using that technique? A bundle of 10 and then 1? Anyone here who's already using it? Tens and ones.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am. I
yes,
did it
ma'am.
in the
A
class.
lot of them.
A lot of them. A lot of them is using it. Yeah, because that's the easiest. So first you take those ice cream sticks or straws or any kind of paper sticks, anything in your hand. Keep counting. Please keep counting. Anything that you're doing, the children need parallel talk. Parallel talk is that I keep explaining what I'm doing to them. And whatever they are doing, I also explain that to them. This is 1 stick. Then this is 2. And then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. When the 10 sticks come, put them in a rubber band. So it's too many sticks for me to hold in one hand. I've made it into a bundle of 10. Now this is one. How many bundles are there? They have to understand then how many bundles are there. There are 10 sticks, but the bundle is 1. Right? And then how many do I have here? 0. So I have 1 bundle and 0 loose sticks. That means it's 10. Then you take on 1 more stick. Then it will be 1 bundle and 1 stick. So see, they have to understand that whenever you're talking about a bundle, or whenever you're talking about tens, it is not tens in a single number. That 1 does not denote 1. That 1 denotes 10. Because there are 10 in this bundle. There are 10 sticks. That concept first has to be in their minds for them to understand tens and ones and to write it properly. Otherwise, children write the mirror image, they write 12 and they say 21. Because they do not understand that the concept of tens is that in one that I'm writing against 11 for 11 or for 12. This one has actually 10 sticks. And then these 2 are the 2 loose sticks. Salila ma'am has raised her hand. Ma'am, you want to ask something?
Leela ma'am, you could unmute and ask or say something. Leela Sudhir. Acha, okay, ma'am, she's messaged no. Maybe by
Okay.
mistake.
Maybe she has understood.
Hmm.
Okay. So tens and ones who had asked for it, please. Can I have your answer if you've understood, or we can do it more also? And you can do it yourself first and see it. Try it out yourself with your children, your teachers, and then see if it works. Okay. But they're still getting confused with the bundle concept. Sapna, some still write 10 as okay. So bundle concept, till the time they don't understand it, you'll have to teach them with through a lot of play activities. You will have to tell them to make the bundles themselves. You don't make and show. Everything cannot be coming from you. It should not be passive learning. They should be making it. Let them make. Let them tie that rubber band or a string. And you help them do that. And then say, see, 1 bundle is kept. And then show it concretely that, this 1 bundle is kept. Now I'm keeping 1 loose stick against it. And then you pick up another stick and keep it next to that 11 wala, 12, then 13. When it comes to 19, and then you're getting another one, then tell them, see, so many, another 10 I have, another 10. That means, wow, I have another 10 sticks. Let me make 1 more bundle. Then make 1 more bundle. Then keep those 2 bundles together at one side. And show them 2 bundles. And no sticks here. So 20. I have 20. I have 2 bundles and I have 0. 20 bundles. Why 20? Because 1 bundle has 10 and another bundle also has 10. So till the time you don't do it with them and they don't do it concretely with you, there will be no learning. That's why I keep telling you, activity-based and play-based learning. Let them play. For them, that's all games. It's all play. For you, it's all activities. And at the end, we are getting is learning happening everywhere. Okay? And we were there. How can we do it in nature? Yes, here, see. Like Seema ma'am said that in their school, they do it. Look at the pattern, sequencing, sorting, greater than, less than, number counting, one-on-one correspondence. Anything that you want, you can do it in nature also. And this is another way to show them greater than and less than. Somebody would ask the question for that. Just see the pebbles, 3 and 7, and you show how the crocodile mouse is expanding towards 7. Miss Anita Soni has raised her hand.
You want to add something? Anita Soni ma'am? Done by mistake, probably.
Okay. All right. Now we come to the khatarnak part. This has always been missed in all my sessions. When till the time I used to reach here, the time used to get over. वैसे तो time आज भी खत्म ही हो जाएगा. Himani, you were asking me one session or two. We'll definitely need two.
2 sessions. So the next session will be a carry forward of this one.
It will be a carry forward. So all of those who are attending right now, you better be there, the next one.
We'll not repeat all of this again.
I'm going to take it forward from here only. But
Yes.
this activity we'll do, and then after that I'll stop because I still have 15 more slides. Himani is going to kill me.
Yes. No, not really.
Himani, मैं 1 घंटे का सेशन बनाया था और मैम हमेशा 2 घंटे का बना लेते हैं. I feel there's so much to tell. I don't know what to do.
But we'll do a part 2 of this. I mean, next is definitely a part 2. So please, teachers,
Yeah.
stay connected. And this is the interesting part. I always want to listen, understand this, and we end up missing it. So this time we'll do it. At least we'll initiate it.
This time we'll start from here. Okay? You remember this slide? Take a picture, Himani. This time we'll start from here. I'll just tell you, you people will have to do some research and come back, okay? So right, I'll just tell you what this is all about. We have time, no, Himani?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So vault, will, tip, waggle, and bell. This is how it's read. What is vault? I'm just giving you the full forms. You write it down. Next time, I'm not going to repeat. And next time, all of you are going to be here. And then you're going to be very confused. So this is like giving notes. So write down. Vault means we are learning to. Okay. Vault means we are learning to. Written. Now go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. We have some thumbs up.
All right. Wilf means what I am looking for. What I am looking for. Tib means this is because. Waggle is what a good one looks like. W. What a G good O1 looks like. What a good one looks like. And will. What it looks like. Now, what is the difference between waggle and will and vault and wilf and tip? Where we use it and how is it connected to activity-based learning outcomes for your lesson planning? We are looking to, first, vault. We are looking to do what? This is from a learner's perspective, from a child's perspective. We are learning to build a tower. We are learning to distinguish colors, identify fruits, whatever. This is your learning outcome. What are the children learning to? We are learning to do what? Then will says what I'm looking for. That's from the teacher's perspective. You learn your teaching objective. What are you looking for? For them to do this activity. So for this, from the child's point of view, it will be what I am looking for. I am looking for to complete a puzzle. paint a picture, okay, or that build a tower thing. Whatever whatever you're looking for, what is the end result? What are you looking for? Okay, so what are we learning to? First is that, then is what are you looking for? We are learning to do this. What I'm looking for is this. This is because. Then why? Why am I learning that? We're learning to do something, and this is what we're looking for at the end result. But why? Why are we doing it? This is because I want to know colors. I want to know the fruits and vegetables. I want to know the body, internal parts of the body, whatever. I want to know the different professions in the world from the community helper side. All of this. Then the last two ones are for you to take it forward for the teachers and the educators. What a good one looks like. That means what a good lesson plan or a activity will look like. Your dream, desire, activity, how it should be, what should be the learning outcome. Does it cover all the three learning domains, CPA? Are you covering all the WARC learners? Are you doing it from the 9 intelligences? So what a good one will look like and what it looks like. Okay, for you. Now for the learners, what a good one looks like will be the example of what we were trying to accomplish. So there can be some errors that the children do. So will is the child has to introspect himself or herself what it looks like right now. So whatever they have made or colored or done their worksheet and whatever it is, they have to evaluate it themselves. So these all the 5 terms are from a teacher's perspective and from a learner's perspective. So when you are defining it, you have to define your learning outcomes from both the sides, from the educator's side and from the learner's side. Learners will do, we are learning to do what? What I am looking for is I have to complete this worksheet or I have to do this work. This is because I'm doing this because I have to know my numbers. What a good one looks like, what is the expectation, what it should look like, and then evaluating his or her own work and say what it looks like right now. From that's a completely a learner's perspective. Educator's perspective, we are learning to do what, so that you are have to decide what are they learning to do, what are you looking for, why are you doing this activity with the children. This is because what do you want your learners to know. Then you define your goal and your will, that how what a good activity would look like and what does it look like right now in your school or in your lesson plan that you are doing, what it looks like, what does it look like right now. Then you evaluate it. Clear? Understood? Or any confusions in these 5 terms? Is clear? It's interesting and सबको समझ में आएगा. Very clear. Now see, once you define all of this, you can never go wrong. ये देखो. You can take a picture of this if you want, or take a screenshot. Then you will learn that these 3 things are most important from the learner's perspective. We are learning to what I'm looking for. This is because. So how will you concentrate on what you are doing? And you should always have the why. And the children should also always know the why. Don't, never think that the children should not know the why. They should know why they are doing it. This was the biggest problem in our education system. Way back when we were learning, we were never told why. We were told to rote learn, to pass exams.
And that is what NAP is saying not to do actually. That is what, and it will just take us time. We feel that बच्चों को समझ में नहीं आता. It will just take us time actually absorbing the concept. उनको सब समझ में आता है. आप शुरू कीजिए. आप शुरू कीजिए.
Yes.
They'll understand. Good evening, whoever was there.
Who is there? So
Ruhi Terry, I guess.
My daughter, ma'am.
She's very cute. She just said good evening, ma'am.
So cute. God bless her, Ruhi. Thank you so much for having her also with you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. You have to understand these, and please the learners need to know why. Tell them
Yes.
why, and it may make connections with their learning. It will always help you as a teacher and them in their further life. Chalo, एक last activity, then we close the session right now. Maybe next 10 slides next time. Now, this is a reading activity. In this, the word is we are looking to use punctuation when we are reading. Okay, senior KG. They know the commas and they know the full stops and the capitals and the basic grammar. Now they are what we are learning to. We are learning to use the punctuation when we are reading. And their will fills identify, full stop, question mark, exclamation mark, and pause at full stops. So what I'm looking for is this. Okay? Now this is because you have to define. You define the tib for this. You can all write it down in the chat box, in your notebooks. Once you're ready, you can tell me. So we are looking to use punctuations when we are reading. What I'm looking for is to identify the full stop, question mark, and exclamation mark, and pause at full stop so that my teacher knows that I'm reading with my punctuations in the right place. Now, I want you to identify this is because. Why am I doing this? This is because iska ye khali hai box.
So Nazima ma'am said this is because it's important for grammar.
It is important for grammar. Okay. To write the sentence.
Write the sentence properly to improve the language skills, to improve the reading practice, modulation, for understanding reading skills. I know to read and write sentence.
Yes, you all are absolutely right. So this is because I'm learning my grammar, I'm learning to read, and I should know where to pause and how to actually read fluently. Nahi, ye next time. There. See, you got the tip so beautifully. So you know the vault, you know the wilf, you know the tip. You can see now what a good one will look like, and you can know what it looks like right now. So right now, after this session, Monday, when your people are going to school, see what it looks like. Will be the first thing. What it looks like will be the first thing, right? And then will come that, okay, what a good one looks like. And then from there, you will take it on to an activity-based and play-based learning lesson planning for your children. Now we have 2 minutes, more for your question answers or anything that you want to share, say, or
Just for the feedback link, I'm going to share it in the group.
Meeting next. That's what I want to know. I don't want to stop here.
I didn't want to stop either, but Imani will kill me. One more hour I can't take, na. 5 to 6 only, she told me.
I thank you, Sheetal ma'am. That's actually a wonderful motivation for all of us to keep going and
Yeah.
continuing the session. And I wish every teacher feels the same, because that is the aim, that the learning must happen.
Yeah, the
So-
learning has to go on. And if you people enjoy, see, if you people enjoy the sessions, then it is like how you can make it enjoyable for your children also. Then all the battle completely, all my battles are won. And that is what I love to do. The teachers have to enjoy and the children have to enjoy. And learning should be super, super fun.
And then some people say that online sessions, ma'am, थोड़े से effective नहीं होते, and this is where we correct them. हमारे बहुत effective होते हैं.
हमारे बहुत इफेक्टिव होते हैं. ऑफलाइन तो धमाली हो जाएगा अगर मेरे साथ आप लोग if I am going to be there, because then I'll make you play games and you will have to do a lot of activities and
Run around also, I'm sure.
that time, like, I'm also very hands-on, then I'll also play a lot of games. I did that in Navsari Himani when I went.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am sure I'm actually looking forward to one session. Maybe one of these days, we can have all our foundation teachers come in one place and have a physical session with them.
क्या धमाल करने वाले हो तुम?
Such
All the
like-
foundation teachers are like that, all the
already
miles.
all of them are like that. That's so true. All the teachers.
all of them
super
are like,
active.
yeah, all of them are like that.
They're actually my kindergarten teachers. They're
Absolutely.
like kindergartners.
True. Very
Okay,
true.
so I don't see
Right.
a lot of positive feedback, ma'am. I think I need to share the chat window from this session with you. It's a wonderful feedback from all of you. Thank you so much, teachers. Thoroughly we enjoy with you more than you can imagine. And जो बोलते हैं ना कि online session इतने interesting नहीं होते, हमारे लिए भी नहीं होते कई बारी. पता है, when you don't get that active response, even we feel कि यार the session is going dull. But then with this group, I agree with Smriti ma'am that with this group, it's so much fun always. Even I don't get a chance to you take a break or a breather also in between.
Yeah. And this group was absolutely all hands up to you people. High five for being so active, interactive, and so many things, beautiful things that you people are doing out there. So God bless you. I'll bid goodbye, and you people please wait for the next session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, teachers. The link for the feedback I'll share with you on Monday for sure. So this weekend you enjoy. Monday we'll share the feedback link with all of you, and you can get your certificates also there. And next session, yes, I'll share this link for the next session also very soon. Thank you so much, Priti ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. I'll stay on for a bit if there's anything. Thank you so much, Rajiv sir. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy a nice cup of coffee. You're welcome, Beta. Thank you so much. I'm so happy there's a small, tiny tots also attending this session. Happy weekend to all.